welcome back to my channel. I'm Huck. Today we are doing a mid-year check-in on some of the books that I had said I wanted to read this year, and we'll see how I'm doing. So I did a top 10 books that I wanted to read this year, and then I also did my top series that I either wanted to start, finish, or can just make progress and continue on with. So we're just gonna do a quick look at how I'm doing with these lists. So I have my reading journal here with my very sophisticated list of 2022 TBR. So let's talk about it. First up, we're gonna do my top 10 books to read in 2022, which I have read 3 of the 10. I read a couple of them right at the beginning of the year, and then my reading kind of meandered off in another direction, and I haven't made a lot of progress on this list. So the 3 that I have read so far, I read The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri, which I gave 4 stars. I read Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, which I gave 5 stars. And I read The Hidden City by Michelle West, which I gave 3.5 stars, I believe. That one was a little bit of a tough one to rate because I loved the first half and then didn't really love the second half, and so it was one of those weird ratings where you're like, what? Do I just kind of split the difference? So that was a tough one to rate, but I am going to be continuing on in that series. So far from this list, I have only read 3, but the 3 that I have read have generally gone pretty good. I had a 5-star, a 4-star, and a 3.5 that I liked enough to continue on with the series. So that's pretty good. So that means that the ones that I still have to read are The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu, The Lions of Al-Rassan by Guy Gavriel Kay, The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker, I think. I'm trying to read the spine across the room. The White Mare by Jules Watson, I think is the author's name. I should have prepared more for this, but this is what's happening now. The Bone Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart. Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. There we go. We're just testing my memory now. And the Fitz and the Fool trilogy by I almost said Robin McKinley, by Robin Hobb. I only have 3 more books left in this series in the realm of the Elderlings, and I have not gotten to them. I kept meaning to start this series, and I just always have such a hard time getting myself to start one of Robin Hobb's books. Once I get started, I generally enjoy them, but it just is it's so hard to get started for some reason. So technically there are 12 books on this list because I put the entire trilogy as one spot, but those are the 7-ish books that I still need to get to this year. I debated whether I wanted to update this list just because most of these I still really feel like I want to get to this year. The only one I'm not as sure about is The Bone Ships. I obviously still want to read that book, but I'm not sure if it's still in my mind as a top priority for this year. That might be one that I kind of put off till next year. So that is probably my lowest priority of the ones that I have left. But I decided not to change this list. Thought I'd just tell you kind of what I'm thinking about these, and that one is maybe lower priority and might end up just being pushed to next year. Okay, now let's look at the series that I wanted to read this year. So first, let's start with series to start. So I had 5 series that I wanted to start. I have started 2 of them. So one of them was Between Earth and Sky, which is by Rebecca Roanhorse. So the first book was Black Sun, which I read and really enjoyed. So I did start that series. I also have the second book, which I'm going to be reading. I originally thought that this was going to be a duology, but I think now that it's actually going to be at least a trilogy, if not a longer series. But I did start that one. I also started the House War series by Michelle West. So I read the first book, which was The Hidden City. There we go. So I read The Hidden City, and as I said, I am going to be continuing on in that series. That is a series that's like a series that is part of a larger series, kind of like how The Realm of the Elderlings has smaller series within it. I'm still kind of deciding how I feel about it. As I said, House War was a bit of a mixed experience for me, so I'm definitely going to read at least one more book in the series, but I'm not sure yet if I am liking it enough to commit to the like 16 to 20-ish books that exist in this world. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so I started 2 of the series that I intended to start. There are 3 series that I have not started yet from that list, which were The Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu. So the first book is The Grace of Kings. The Tide Child trilogy by R.J. Barker, which is that one, The Bone Ships, and the Dalriada trilogy by Julia Watson, which the first book is The White Mare. I should just look up what her name is. Hold on a second. Okay, I was right. It's Jules Watson. Cool. Glad I was saying the right name. All right, so those are the ones that I still need to start the series. Then as for series that I would like to finish, I only finished one of the series that was on my like to finish list, which was the Devabad trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty. I read the second and third books, which I really enjoyed. So I'm very glad that I ended up finishing that trilogy. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 series that I have not finished that I would like to. So one of them is The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. As I said, I have the last trilogy, so 3 books to go. I am now halfway through the year and have not even started this trilogy, so there is of course definitely time to finish it, but it always takes me so long to read one of those books and then to like hype myself up to like start the next one that I'm not sure if I'm gonna make that goal, but we'll try. We'll see what happens. I also wanted to finish the Salvagers series by Alex White, which is a sci-fi series that is just really fun. I also wanted to finish the Beast Player duology, so I kind of recently got the second book, which is Beast Warrior. I want to reread the first book before reading the second book, so I like started my reread and then put it down, and I need to like get back into it. I also want to finish the Founders trilogy by Robert Jackson Bennett. The third and final book just came out. I just hauled it and it has a beautiful cover. And so I am going to be reading that hopefully pretty soon and be able to finish that trilogy. Another one where it is not out just yet, but I'm going to be finishing it when it comes out later this year, is the Dreamer trilogy by Maggie Stiefvater. Then there also is the Nightshine duology. The second book, what's it called? Moon Dark Smile, is coming out in August. Another one that I'll read it when it comes out and be able to finish that duology. And then there's the Wilderwood duology, which the second book I think came out already this year, and I just need to like figure out when I want to read that one, but that will also be pretty simple to read. Although now I'm not sure if it's a duology or if it's going to be a longer series. All right, and then we have the To Continue series. So these are the ones that I have already started. I'm not necessarily trying to like finish them, but I want to at least make some progress on them this year. So first up, we have Legends of the First Empire by Michael J. Sullivan. I've only read the first book, which was Age of Myth, and I enjoyed it, but not so much that I felt really compelled to immediately continue on with the series. However, I do still want to read that series, so I would like to make some progress on it. I have not, though. Next we have the Green Rider series by Kristen Britton. This one I am kind of deciding if I want to continue on with it. I read the first book either last year or the year before. It was fine, but didn't feel super motivated to continue on with the series. So I am kind of leaning towards maybe not finishing that series, but I have not 100% decided to DNF it yet. Next is the Vorkosigan Saga by Lois McMaster Bujold, which is a sci-fi series that I have read 2 of them. I would like to read at least 1 or 2 more before deciding about the series, although I have not been super invested in it yet. But I want to get to the point in the series at which people kind of are like, oh, this is when you like really fall in love with the characters. Then we have the Celtic Blood series by Melanie Karsak. So I haven't made progress in that. I do have the second book, but I need to actually get around to reading it. So that was just a quick update on how I've been doing on these like lists that I made at the beginning of the year. I think I maybe have not made as much progress as I had hoped, but I haven't made 0 progress. I have read some of the books that were on my top 10 list. I have started some of the series that I intended to start or make progress in. I finished one of the series I intended to finish. So I've made a little bit of progress, maybe not quite as much as I had hoped, but that's okay. I'm feeling pretty good about my reading so far this year. Overall, I have read fewer books than I usually do. But I have really been enjoying the books that I have been reading. I've just very much been mood reading and just like taking my time with books and just taking some breaks between books when I needed to. I've had a very busy first half of the year. So in general, my reading has been slow but good. So that's really what matters to me, even if I don't like check off all of the boxes of the lists of books that I made at the beginning of the year. But hopefully by the end of the year, I will have made some more significant progress on some of these things, and I will be able to update you about it then. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye!